What's going on, guys? It's your boy Az. We are back here with another one for you all, and I think the question that's kind of been, on everyone's mind is, since Friday's announcement, we finally got a confirmed date on when Polaris is coming into the nodes, and we've already seen that in the data mine weeks ago, but now it's actually been confirmed where she's going to be and when she's coming. So she's coming tomorrow, and of course, I think, everyone's wondering, is Polaris going to be attainable at 5 yellow as a free-to-play player? And the short answer to that is yes. So now you guys can basically, stop watching the video and you guys can go back to doing whatever you want to do. But we're going to go over some assumptions here if you guys want to stick around. And of course, these are pretty big assumptions, but assuming if you fall into this particular scenario, then there's a very good chance that, yes, indeed, if you do have the other 3 X Factor characters and you only have to focus on Polaris, then there is a very, very strong chance that you'll most likely be able to unlock her at 5 yellow before, and hopefully, if not before, maybe even during the time that Adam Warlock and his event is live. So, again, the first assumption we'll make is the fact that you've already got the other 3 X Factors at 5 yellow. So, seeing my roster here, Multiple Man, he was just recently added into the campaign nodes as well, I think a week or something ago. And again, yeah, if you don't have to split your farming and you can just focus solely on Polaris, that gives you already a little bit of edge against some other people if they have to farm both these characters. Because again, that means you're going to have to be spending refreshes on this guy and on Polaris, and that's going to split your energy up and your power cores. Shatterstar, he was in the Blitz events, and he's been around for a bit now, but I mean, he's been in the Gamma orbs for a while now, and now he's been recently added into the Arena orbs, and he's also in the Unity orbs, which is going on right now. So I mean, yeah, people have been getting lots of shards on him, and I think just between the last week and a bit here and all the other events going on, I think I added in 60 or 70 orbs or shards, and yeah, it's been pretty good. Long Shot, same thing as well. He was added into the War Store recently as well, and I think for the most part, most people already have him pretty close to 5, or if not, they're just about there. And again, I guess this doesn't really show here, but if you have to spend your 50 refreshes on the War Store and you have to focus on him as well, and Mom, it's really tough, right? If you're focusing on the Dad Bros and Mom, and you got to focus on Polaris, it's going to split your farming up. And as everyone knows, power cores is a finite resource, and it's just going to split your farming up. So that's the one assumption. If you got the other 3 X Factor guys, and you only have to focus on Polaris, that gives you a much higher chance of getting her unlocked at 5 yellow as a free-to-play. And I should mention as well here that the Strike Pass is also going to be coming up to the end here. So hopefully you guys have got those free shards in. I'm still missing the 10 shards. We've got about a day and a bit now left. But hopefully by the time that kicks around, we should be able to get the extra 10 shards. And we can be 10 shards closer. So it's going to put us pretty much at at 36. So that means we only need 174 because you basically need 44 left to get her up to 4 yellows, and then you need another 130 to get her up to 5 yellows. So that leaves us with 174 shards. So I haven't really purchased any shards on her, and I've only done the strike passes as a free-to-play. So that means you guys should probably be falling somewhere in this area as well. I also got 15 shards out of her on a video from last week, and unfortunately I opened up like 220 some premium orbs, 12 mega orbs, and quite a bit of Ultimus orbs as well. I don't even know the exact number. I think it was over 200. But, over 100, excuse me. And, we were only able to get 15 shards of Polaris. So I might have 15 shards more than you if you guys haven't opened up any, or if you guys are hoarding as well. But anyways, that should mean we're kind of in the same baseline here, where you'll most likely have her at either 2 yellow, or maybe you're close to 3. And obviously, as you guys can see here, we just reached 3 not that long ago, thanks to the strike passes. So anyways, that's the first assumption. Let's actually jump into the Excel now, and we can go into some numbers here. But let's quickly take a look at this so you guys can see where I'm coming from here. But we'll look at the top left corner in the orange, and that's free energy. And that's important because every day you get 3 of those times 80 refreshes, and then you also get your 288 energy. You get an energy per 5 minutes every hour, so you get 12 of those per hour. So 12 times, 12 times 5 times 24. So you get 228 or 288 plus the 240 you get. So you in total, just ignore all the numbers there, but basically you get 500 energy per day, and that's free, right? That doesn't cost you guys a thing. And why is that important? That means basically if you're just focused on a Polaris, that means you basically get 5 shots at her campaign refreshes. And that's important because even if you're not including your free energy refreshes that you get every day and plus the dailies, you can go a little more if you want. But just free farming itself, you have to spend a single power core on that. So that's good. That means you can maximize more on your power cores on the refreshes, which is on her nodes. And now, again, we're assuming here that the other assumption we're going to make here now is you're assuming you get 2 shards of her per 100 energy. So that's important because that means that we're assuming worst case scenario, and you're only getting 2 shards every time you spend 100 energy. Now that's pretty low. I think in terms of trying to be smart and cautious here is just assume you got the worst RNG possible and you're not getting nothing. So that's why if you guys look at the first column here, in the purple on the top left, that's when Polaris goes live. So she's going to go live tomorrow, June 22nd. That's when you can start farming her. So make sure as the day goes, make sure you're saving that energy when her event goes live. So that means you're saving close to max energy when her event goes live. And probably tomorrow is the day that I would use those 50 refreshes, the free energy refreshes that you get every day. I mean, if you've got some saved up right now, I think if we go back into the game here, we've got how much do we have? We got 390. So I'm saving these up, guys. Save these up for tomorrow when the event goes live because you're going to need it. Why are we saving it up? Because, well, the event goes live tomorrow, or she goes live tomorrow, probably when at reset. So that means you're not going to have energy available from the 500 that you get every day. So we're just going to assume that when it goes live, you're going to have energy to rumble, and you can use those refreshes. So that's definitely do that. And then from that point on, then we have basically a few days to farm Polaris before Adam Warlock comes on the 28th, which is in the red there, as you guys see with the AW. Yeah, that sounds yummy. Maybe I'll get a burger after this. But Adam Warlock, 6/28, that's when he goes live. So in about, basically, they don't give us a lot of time. They gave us like 6 days, basically, less than a week before he goes live on the next Monday. So I mean, that's not a lot of time. And again, we put the 2 X's there above AW because usually before a legendary, or even sometimes during the event, they give us basically a double refresh event, or not a double refresh, but a double shard event. And so in that day, if we get a double event, you want to make sure you're not using your energy until the double is live. So that way you get 2 solid days of refreshes. And that's probably going to be the one that makes the biggest dent on the shards. And even then, if you guys look at the numbers here, we'll go down column by column now so it makes sense to you guys. But again, if we go down the first column that says none at the top, we're just assuming that every time we spend 100 energy, we only get 2 shards, which is pretty minimalistic. I think in all the events that I've done, or all the legendary events, Invisible Woman, Doc Ock, Jubilee, like I always just assume worst case scenario, and it ends up working out because then sometimes you actually end up with days where you don't get anything, right? So yeah, the 2 helps because it's consistent, but also because some days you're probably gonna get 4, you're probably gonna get a 6, maybe if you're lucky, and it's gonna help compensate the 0 days. So that's why we just assume 2, because 2 is very conservative. Anyways, so if you do the run column down, and we're assuming 10 days, we're assuming that Adam Warlock's gonna stick around for about 4 or 5 days. He's gonna go live on the 28th and then stick around until the end of the week, which makes sense. I think that makes sense because by July 2nd or 1st, you're going to have another event coming in, and I think it's the stealth event. So I can't see them colliding too many events together. And again, it's a mythic legendary event, so we don't know. I could be totally wrong here, and maybe they only have it for 1 day, which is very unlikely, but it could be a possibility. And they might even extend that. So I mean, if we look at the last one, and this is from a buddy of mine, Jubilee was around for 7 days. So I mean, that's a long time. I mean, I think her event was pretty good too because, I think everybody needed her. So obviously she's a requirement for Adam Warlock. But again, as you guys can see here, we've only got like the 4 or 5 days when he goes live. So we're gonna assume that hopefully, because they feel sorry for us, or hopefully they're they're not trying to get more people upset with them, that they're going to allow for more days on this event. So that's what I'm assuming, worst case scenario. And now, like I said, that's my another assumption there. That's assumption that we're assuming that they're going to give us 4 or 5 days. It could be less, it could be more. So I mean, if it's more, that's great. That just means we're being conservative. So now let's go through the next column where you're doing 2x50 refreshes. And again, you're refreshing twice and you're only getting 4 shards per day. So I mean, that's very conservative. I made that assumption that you're totally just having the worst RNG of your life, and you're spending 100 cores per day and you're only getting 4 shards. So that means you're basically doing 3 times on her nodes, her campaign, and you're only getting 4 shards. So that's very, very conservative. And again, if you guys go down to the bottom there, you'll see that even in the course of the event, which is approximately 10 days, more or less, I just kind of rounded it 10 days. I think it was a solid number, because I think they'll give us 6 days for Polaris and then another few days with Adam Warlock. So again, assuming on the double day you get lucky and you get double the shards just by some miracle. I mean, obviously, like I said, it's very unlikely, but yeah, you'll get about 62. You'll get about 62 shards, which isn't even close to what you need, but it's still better than nothing. And then you're short 107 there at the bottom there, as you guys can see, 107. And again, that spends about 1,000 power cores, if my math is right. I think actually it should be nope, I think I did my math wrong here. It should be a little more, because I'm counting that we have about let's see, 4 days, 6 days. We have 11 days up on the chart there. So this should actually be 1,200. Should be like 1,200 cores. I ran the I counted my anyways. So the power cores are wrong, but anyways, yeah, I just got to add a little tally there. So the power cores would be 1,200, not 1,000. But anyways, you guys can see there that if you're doing the 50 refreshes, obviously you can see that you're trying to minimize your power cores. And I think if you've got your event going on right now too, I mean, obviously you get power cores per day as well. I think you get 50 from your objectives, you get 50 from your milestones if you're doing the high roller at 1 mil, and then you get another 15 from your world, your world milestone, save the world, whatever it's called. But yeah. So it's going to be very minimalistic if you go that route. So I think it's doable for sure if you're low in cores and you just want to be efficient. Now, having said that, if you want to be a little more crazy and you do have cores like myself, I got about 4,000, and you're doing 2x50 and you want to stick a 100 in there, great. So you again we're assuming worst case scenario, you're only getting 2 shards per refresh, and I think that's even worse now, because you're doing it like 4 times, but you're only getting 6 shards. So like that's really, really worst case scenario. And again, I want to be minimalistic here because I want to show you guys what the projections look like. So we're just going to assume that 1 round of refreshes, you're not getting anything. You're not getting anything at all. And I think that's the important thing there, because of the fact that you want to make sure you can just assume worst case scenario, because yeah, that's usually what happens. I mean, with these events, really, really crappy luck. Anyways, so as you guys look down there, if you do the 2x50 plus 100, you're gonna spend around it's gonna be it's an extra day now, so it's actually gonna be 1,700 power cores, not the 1,500. But anyways, you get the gist. 1,700 power cores, and you get about 96, or excuse me, you're short 96 shards because you get 78-ish. And again, still pretty crappy, but you spend a little bit more, but you also get a little bit more. So again, like I said, worst case scenario. And then of course, if you go the 2x50 and the 2x100, now you're spending about 300 power cores per day, and that's going to come out to about 3,300 cores. So again, that 3,000 is wrong because I forgot an extra day there as I was making this in a rush. But as you guys can see here, it's going to be 3,300 cores if you're doing the 2x50, 2x100. And again, we're going to be refreshed at 5 times. So you're going to hit that 5 times, and assuming 1 is 0 and you only get 2 shards per run, that's really, really bad luck. And again, you're still pretty close. You're short 70 shards, which is pretty similar as well. So I mean, that's like I said, it's pretty similar. Do keep in mind too, plus the calendar. I had 5 on there at the top there, but I didn't even add the other 3 because you know, it's just to give you guys a bit of luck here to see. You don't forget, you also get 5 from the calendar. So again, that 5 will help you guys out because it's not a lot, but they usually end up giving a calendar that gives out 5 of every shard, and it'll kind of put you closer. Now, if you absolutely gung-ho and you really want it so bad, you're doing 2x50, you're doing 2x100, and then you're also spending 200 cores. So that's actually 6 rounds now. You're doing your 1 round of free, because that just resets every day, and then you're doing the 2x50, 2x100, so that makes 5 now, and then you're adding a 6 throw in there, like a 6 run. Now you're adding an extra 200 cores, which is just, yeah, that's just, I think that's a little crazy. Personally for me, I don't know if that's a good strategy, because that's at a certain point you just end up, you know, kind of depreciating your you know, it's like diminishing returns, right? And yeah, it's gonna be a lot of power cores. Like that's so we got well, I did my math wrong there too, but yeah, 2x100, 250, so that's, you know, and then plus another 200 on top of that. So you're gonna be, that means basically you're spending 500 cores basically per day, and you're doing that for 11 days, so it's going to be 5,500 cores. So it's not 5,000, obviously I wrote that wrong, but 5,500 cores. And again, the difference between 5,500 and our 300 that we just did, you're barely getting about 10-15 shards. So yeah, I wouldn't recommend the 200 refreshes. I think that's a little crazy, but it's just to give you guys an idea. If you're looking for a minimal approach here, the probably the 2x50 and the 2 and maybe a 100, maybe one of those 100, that's probably the medium or most efficient one. And then if you're really adamant on trying to push for that extra refresh, then yeah, I'd stick that extra 100 if you have the cores for it. But yeah, try not to do the one on the far right, because that 200 refresh will just kill you. And on top of that, I should mention the 2x50 and the 2x100 is the one where you can get by free without using any refreshes on the energy side. So if you're doing the 200, that's the 6 run now, and then of course you only have 500 free energy. So that means you're gonna have to eat into either your refreshes, like your free refreshes that you get every day, or it's gonna eat into cores. So I wouldn't do that route. I'd probably stick by the 2x50 and maybe 100 first, and that's what I would do. But anyways, this is all actually going to depend on you as well, because if you're tracking and you're keeping track of how many shards you need per day for the next few days to see if it's even doable or if it's even worth it, that's the way to go. I mean, obviously, these, like I said already, this was assuming worst case scenario and you're only getting 2 shards. If you happen to be lucky and you're getting 4 shards, any one of these would be doubling, right? So yeah, so it's just to give you guys an idea. And like I said already, save up your refreshes. And like I said, we got events going on right now, and I really wish they would have added in more Polaris shards. They should have added it to at least to these orbs, you know, these what is it, the event orbs. Oh, we got one right now, these Unity orbs. I mean, we got long shot and shatter in this, but somehow they decided not to include the what is it? They didn't include Polaris in here, which was just silly. I mean, they have Mum in here, and then they also got Shatterstar, but they don't have the other ones. It's like, what the heck? So it would have been nice for them to include that. But anyways, guys, so as I was going to earlier, saying, like, is it doable? Absolutely. Lots of assumptions to be made, obviously, like I said already, assuming you have only one X Factor, assuming you even have Jubilee unlocked as well. And then, of course, like I said already, it comes down to a game of numbers and power cores, and depending on where you place in the arena as well, that's going to help you out. Obviously, we aren't doing too bad here, but the reward side of things, I mean, if you're ranked a little lower, that's gonna hurt, right? But anyways, we ran all those numbers, and I guess that was another assumption I could have added, but we didn't even assume and take form the amount of cores that you have presently and the amount that you get per day as the event's going. So I mean, this is just assuming you got 1,000 or 1,500 or 3,000 cores already kicking around, and obviously for us, we have the 4,000 kicking around, and I've already dialed back on my Phyla event as well, because I'm trying to save my cores up. So, anyways, I don't know if this helped you guys out, but hopefully, shows you guys, is that Polaris going to be doable? Is it realistic? I think it is. I think if, like I said already, I haven't spent any money on any offers or anything like that. So I think if you guys have more than the 26 out of 80 or 36 out of 80 when I finish my strike pass, you're probably ahead of the ball game already. I know some people have lucked out with some mega orbs, which is nice. Unfortunately, I wasn't one of those guys. But like I said, it's all going to be dependent on your RNG on the initial first few days when she goes live on the farming, and of course how many cores you have sitting around waiting for that. So hopefully this helped you guys out, and I think as the event goes, I'll keep progress of what I'm doing. I think what I'll do is I'll maybe make some videos and just kind of outline how I'm progressing for Polaris. I think that way you can kind of see how I'm progressing, and hopefully you guys have some good progression as well when her event goes live, or not her event, but when her farming node goes live in the game here. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.